Hello, my name is F.A. Welcome to Manga Diet, where we post content that is useful for people who like to read, write, or draw manga. This one is specifically for my readers, but I guess any of you could watch it if you wanted to. Using manga to achieve your goals. Now, I bet you read the title and you're like, what do you mean by that? How can I use manga to achieve my goals? So, this is a part of the Using Manga 2 series, which is probably going to be the biggest series that the channel is going to have because that has the most videos that I have planned. But basically, I'm just going to show you how you can take stuff that you get from reading manga to actually get stuff in real life. So the thing that you can get from real life from watching this video is learn how to achieve your goals. So I'm going to show you how you can use manga to do that. So first is what this video includes, okay? This video includes 3 manga recommendations, not these ones. This is just a picture I took off Google. It's not my picture. Whoever's picture it is, don't sue me. But it has 3 manga recommendations in it, right? And it has 3 lessons that you can learn from reading them, okay? Very simple, very straight to the point. I'm going to go over the 3 manga right now and then the lessons that you can learn from them. And this is the first installment of this series, right? Of the Vol.1, right? Of using manga to achieve your goals. So you guys have to let me know in the comments down below what you think about this video, what things you want to see differently, etc., so that I can make it better for you in the future. But this is how it's going to go so far. So first, before we start, you have to know about the Manga Diet community, okay? The Manga Diet is for a community for people who like to read, write, and draw manga, okay? If you want to join that community, if you fall into one of those categories that you like manga, you like to read it, write it, draw it, or all of the above, go to the mangadiet.com right now and register to join our community. It is the best manga community in the entire world. There is not going to be one better probably ever. So if you want to join and be a part of it, you want to meet people that actually like manga, that actually want to do stuff, actually want to be your friend, actually want to talk to you, actually want to, get stuff done, have fun with, this is the place to go. I set it up. We set it up in the best possible way for you. So check it out. This is what some of the things look like when you get inside the website, right? After you make an account, we have the pair page, which is where you go to find people who are doing stuff that's manga related, right? Find people that you have things in common with. Like you can see Valerie, for example, right? She loves Vagabond, Soul Leveling. If you like those two, match with her, join her battle, do something with her, right? This is just to meet people who like manga as well and do stuff with them that we created, okay? And the battle page is a picture that you can see on the right here. It's just an example of what the battle page looks like, right? So we made the battles so that you guys can have stuff to do with each other, okay? So as you can see here, this is actually me, naturally, F.A. I did a challenge with another member of our community, right? Mangaka is their username. And we did character turnarounds together. We drew them together and we uploaded them on Instagram. It was very fun, very simple. Find challenges to do with other people, themangadiet.com. Now let's get into the regular video. So the first manga I want to talk about is Beat in Motion, okay? This is what the cover looks like. It's not a popular one. It was posted on Jump Comics, right? Jump Plus, I think. So not that many people read it. It's not mainstream at all. But I heard about it through the grapevine because it just had it was how did I hear about this? Because it's this dude right here, the main character, he's like a creative, and I was looking for manga that are kind of similar to Blue Period, Bakuman, things like that, and this is one of the things I heard while I was scavenging, so I decided to give it a try. So what is Beat in Motion about? Beat in Motion is a story about an animator and a musician who have a big goal of taking over the world with their work. By the way, I wrote these summaries by myself. These are in my own words in the easiest possible way to make you understand what the manga is about so you can determine whether or not you want to read it, okay? So again, Beat in Motion is a story about an animator and a musician who have a big goal of taking over the world with their work. They work together to become as successful as possible while simultaneously growing their relationship, okay? Keyword, simultaneously growing their relationship. This manga is on one hand about them trying to achieve their goals, right? Which is why you clicked on this video. But also it's slice of life-esque in the sense of like, there's a boy and a girl. And without spoiling, naturally, their relationship grows, right? So if that's something that you're interested in, this is up your alley, okay? So how to achieve your goals, right? Imagine yourself in 5 years and then in 10 years. Imagine your path and write it down clearly, okay? Save the piece of paper and look at it from time to time, and then your dreams will come true, more or less. I read it kind of in a weird order because my mind's moving a little bit fast. But the key thing I want you to take away from this is that no dream will come true if you can't imagine it first. Every lesson that I'm going to give you in this video is coming straight from the manga, right? So this is not lessons that I made up. This is stuff that I know is a fact true, right? Lessons that I've seen play out in other people's lives, but I see it written in the manga, as you can see, right? I literally circled where it is in the manga, right? This is exactly what they said in the manga, right? And there's an example in there, right? This is how you achieve any goal in life, okay? If you want to become, I don't know, like, if you want to get in the NBA, right? Like the National Basketball Association or whatever, right? You want to become an NBA player. If you cannot imagine yourself clearly doing the steps necessary to get to that goal, you are not ever going to get there. Because this is what happens with a lot of goals, right? Is that you might have a goal of like, I want to get in shape, okay? What does that mean? Do you have a reference in mind? It's kind of like withdrawing, right? If you can't see in your head what it is you want on the paper, right? If you try and draw without reference, you know this. You can't draw. You suddenly can't draw. You have to be able to see it first so that you can take the necessary steps to get there. It's the same thing with your goals. If you have a goal, it has to be so specific and you have to know every single step on the way there so that you can make it happen. That's how it works. I'll give you a literal example from my own life, right? When I found out that, okay, I really do love this manga thing, right? How do I get to my end destination of becoming a pro manga artist, right? As I worked backwards from that goal, right, I realized maybe I should go to Japan. I haven't even been there yet. And that was the very first step. Like, as I worked backwards, that was the first step that I realized I had to take, right? So literally what I did was I started planning my trip immediately because I was like, oh, now I know exactly what steps I have to do to get there. That's how clear you have to be, right? Look at what it says. Imagine yourself in 5 years and then in 10 years. Imagine your path and write it down clearly, okay? If you know what to do, you are more likely to do it. This is why goals don't get done, because they're usually vague, okay? So if you can imagine it, you can do it. That's how to achieve your goals. Here's my review of Beat in Motion, okay? So in my personal opinion, I loved it. I thought it was amazing. There was a little bit of bias in the way that I enjoyed it, simply because, first of all, the main character is an animator, and the main girl, she's a musician, like she makes music and stuff, right? I don't animate, I don't make music, right? So there's no bias in that sense, right? So I couldn't one-to-one relate with what was going on with them, but I'm a creative. I like chasing my goals. I like getting stuff done, and that was relatable. But also because I kind of had a similar relationship with someone in the past where we were both in like creative industries, and we had separate industries, right? So we weren't both artists, right? Like we didn't both draw, but the person like making clothes, kind of like the dude from My Dress Up Darling. She was kind of like him, and it was motivating to see someone actually doing stuff that they liked and that they were interested in, and like trying to make it work. And I was also in a different field doing the same thing. So that's what this reminded me of, which is why I rated it so highly, because it resonated with me, like literally, right? Because their relationship with one another. So our relationship wasn't like this 1-to-1, like I said, but it did make me think about it a lot. So that's kind of why it has a sentimental place in my heart. But it was really good. It was really good in terms of achieving goals and showing how the steps that you have to take in order to get to your goal, which is exactly how you reach it. You know what I'm saying? So who do I think should read Beat in Motion? If you are interested in animation, if you're interested in making music, if you make music, if you like listening to music, if you think animation is cool, if you just want to know more about it, you should probably read it. If you like slice of life that is not 100% focused on just romance and mundane everyday task. Like there's no they're college students, right? Like no, he's a college student, or he was. They're older. They are not in high school. Okay, so if you are more interested in those like high school esque stories where they're like, oh, let's do the firework festival, let's do the firework festival is guaranteed in the high school ones, and what is the other one? Firework. They go to see fireworks, and the school festival where they have to like, where they like they like do like a maid out. They like do maid cafe or something. I forget what it's called. It's slipping my mind, but they're not in high school. They're older, so I think an older audience. Not like I'm not talking about like 30 though. I'm talking about like if you're just anyone who has a goal that you might have neglected, that you really want to achieve, that you're not giving enough attention to, you think, or you just anyone who has a goal, bruh. If you have a goal and you know what it is, even if you don't know what it is, but you want to see someone struggle their way to completing their goals, you should read this, okay? My score was a 9 out of 10. The My Anime List score was a 7.2 out of 10. I don't think people liked it that much because a 7.2 is kind of bad, but it's better than a 6.5 naturally. But I think a logical rating for this has to be like an 8. I feel like personally, yes, FA, you're kind of biased, I know, but my score was a 9 out of 10. I think a realistic score, honestly, as I'm speaking about it out loud, a realistic score is probably 7 or 8 out of 10. But this was a good one, and it was short. It was only 49 chapters, I think. So definitely check it out if this sounds interesting to you. Next up, I want to talk about My Hero Academia. Here we go, FA. You're going to hear about My Hero Academia so much on this channel, and you're going to understand why. And it's simply because it's just so fire. I'm not going to lie. If you don't like My Hero and you've given it a fair chance, then there's nothing I can really say to you about that. I really liked it, and there's a lot of things that I feel like people can use from My Hero Academia, so let's go over it. This is the cover of Volume 1. You can see Midoriya and All Might on it. This is what it's about. My Hero Academia is a story about Midoriya, a kid obsessed with superheroes, aka people with quirks, trying to become the #1 hero like his role model, All Might, okay? So this is the main character right here, right? And this is All Might, right? Superheroes, these are all them, right? They have quirks, those are their abilities. He is obsessed with them, right? He wants to become the #1 hero, like his role model, right? But the only problem is that he doesn't have any powers. He has no quirk, okay? So if that should already sound interesting to you. I don't know, bro. FA, stop, chill. I love My Hero Academia, but yeah, that's what it's about. The lesson that you should learn from this is big goals equals big changes required. Another way I can say it is that if your goal is big, there's going to be a lot of things that you have to do in order to achieve it. A lot of changes are required, okay? I have to work harder than anyone else to make it. I'll never catch up otherwise. The context behind this is that this is the beginning, so it's not a spoiler, right? Midoriya realized that if he wanted to be strong enough to be on the same level as people who have abilities, have quirks, have superpowers, whatever you want to call it, right? He has to work so hard that you have to damn near drop to your knees. Like, this is all this. Look at all the stuff he was doing as a kid. As a kid, he was getting it out the mud, bruh. Like, he had to work so hard just to get on an even playing field with everyone else. That's what I'm talking about. If your goal is big, you have to be required to do big things in order to get it. You can't just do the same, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna wake up at noon, or you can't do that no more, bruh. You can't. If you really want to achieve your goals, you cannot. Do you think Midoriya had time to freaking, I don't know, play Fortnite? No. No, he does not. Okay? Because he wants to be the #1 hero and he has no abilities. Okay? Most people, including myself, right? We have goals that require us to change the person that we are today, right? The person who's going to sleep late, or has a terrible diet, or has a mean personality, or all these things about ourselves have to change if you want to get to your goal, okay? Becoming the number one hero? You want to become the number one hero? You don't even got an ability? You feel me? You best be in the gym 24/7. You feel me? So you will never catch up otherwise. Never, ever. And the funny thing is, when I was pulling up these screenshots, right, like this one specifically, when I pulled this up, bro, I damn near cried. I damn near cried again. I was just like, damn, like, this John hit so crazy, bruh. This John hit so crazy. Because I was just like, damn, like, he had no choice. If he really wanted to become the number one hero, boy, you best be out there running. He was picking up trash. Like, you have to work harder than anyone else. You have to. If your goal is smaller, right? And small versus big is all dependent on you. But how hard it is to achieve your goal, that just means that you have to do a lot of changes, okay? So you can't become the number one hero being who you are right now. You're going to have to change. That's what I want you to take away from this. So what is my review of My Hero Academia? This is not going to be a full review because I'm just going to tell you in terms of how it relates to the topic of achieving your goals, because if I go into the full review, this video will be 3 days long. My personal opinion on My Hero Academia is that it's still fire. I still think my true opinion of My Hero Academia in terms of reaching your goals is that it is one of the best manga for showing you how that goes. Because, you know, goals are achieved. Some of them are not, right? But I also just think that My Hero Academia it has every element you see in a good manga, which is exactly why I would recommend this to absolutely everyone. There's not anyone who I would not recommend My Hero Academia to under any circumstance, which is going to be rare. If this is your first time getting a manga recommendation from me, then you might be like, oh, he just said stuff like that. But no, I'm very, 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 very serious and particular about how I hand out manga recommendations. But My Hero Academia is at the top of my all-time favorites, so I would recommend it to absolutely everyone. It's a shonen manga, so there's going to be a lot of action, but there's also a lot of drama. There's romance. There's politics. There's everything that you want. Everything. It's long too, so you can get most out of it. It's not One Piece long, but it's like just, I wish it was longer. Man, it's so crazy because like, don't let me get started if it. Don't do it. It's like, man, like, why couldn't this be One Piece length? You feel me? That's what I was thinking. But it wasn't that length, but it was very good, and I recommend it to everyone. So as you can imagine, my score is a 10 out of 10. Perfect score for My Hero Academia. I think a logical score in terms of, and when I say logical, I mean what someone would give it who's not me, right? I think the average person has to give My Hero Academia an 8.5 plus. I think I was reading negative reviews before I started recording this video just so I could get a gauge of like what the average person thinks, right? And I saw some people with opinions that, you know, I don't have, but there was a decent amount of them. So I think on average, you have to give it at least an 8.5 plus if you finish the entire thing. If you dropped it at any point in time, you can give it whatever you want, bruh. But someone who's seen it from start to finish, they have to give it 8.5 plus at least. That's what I think. The average score on my anime list score was 7.95 though. I think you guys are bugging, but what do I know? Next manga, The Climber. This is what the cover looks like. The Climber is a story about Mori Buntaro. Oh, I said that really Japanese, didn't I? Who discovers a passion for climbing. After living an empty life so far and discovering his new goal, climbing the highest mountains in the world, he is willing to do whatever it takes to achieve it. But it's far from easy. There are many distractions. Now, The Climber is very popular, but you might not know anything about it. So, again, this is what it's about. It's basically a climbing manga, which you can probably pick up from the title, but it's actually very deep. It is very deep. Very, very deep. I'll tell you more about that during the review, though. What I want you to take away from this today, right? Now you know how to set goals, how to achieve them, right? You know that you need to make changes in order to achieve them, right? What you need to do today is just make progress. That is it, okay? If I step forward one step at a time, I'll definitely make my way there, okay? Now this is symbolic, I guess, because he's climbing a mountain, right? And if you just take it one step at a time, literally, you will reach the top of the mountain, right? Let's say that the mountain is your goal, right? And getting to the top of the mountain is achieving your goal. If you take one step at a time, you will make it there, right? Definitely. You definitely will. That is all you need to think about. If you have a goal, let's use the NBA player again, right? A professional basketball player, right? If you know the steps to get there, because you set them, because I told you how from reading Beat in Motion, right? All you have to do is make sure that you're making progress to that step every single day. And you will eventually get there. That is it. It is very simple. This is exactly what he said, literally. He's climbing up the mountain. I will definitely get there. If I step forward one step at a time. If you do not take any steps today, you did not make any progress, okay? So that's really what's important. When they say, just take it one step at a time, right? This is literally what it means. Think about a mountain. If you have to get to the top of a mountain, you have to take the steps to get up there, right? So don't even think about the top of the mountain. Think about, did I take a step to get there today? You understand? So here's my review of The Climber. My personal opinion is I thought The Climber was very good. I had a lot of gripes with it, though. Admittedly, I had a lot of gripes with it that kind of made the score what it is. But in terms of my personal opinion, it was a very, if not, no, it was not the most, but it had very high influence on the stories that I write. Because the way that the story was written, the symbolism was very high. I learned a lot from reading it, like not just about my life personally, because I did learn a lot from my life, but also about making manga. Like it was very influential on me in the way that I make manga, so I rate it very highly in that sense. But in terms of the story, I like the art too. The art's amazing, as you're gonna see in another panel. But in terms of my personal opinion about the story and whatnot, I think there were things that could have been done differently, which I'm not going to spoil, but all in all, it was good, and I liked it. So, who do I think should read it? This is another one of the panels. A crazy panel, right? Like, this is a crazy panel, right? And this is one of the examples of the symbolism, by the way. But, who do I think should read The Climber? I don't usually say this, but I think it's targeted more towards men who either don't know their way, in terms of like they don't know what they're doing, they have no purpose, blah blah, or they do know what they want to do with their lives and stuff, but they haven't achieved their goals yet, or maybe they have, but this would still probably be targeted towards them. I don't think that I would probably never recommend this to like a woman friend of mine. Like if she was like, should I read The Climber? I'd probably be like, man, if you want to. But in terms of if somebody asked me, right, what should I read? Let's say a girl asked me, what should I read? What manga should I read? This would never come to the top of my mind. If a guy asked me, this would come to the top of my mind. So I wouldn't say all guys should read it, but I think because it's definitely for a more mature audience, right? So I would probably say anyone who's graduated from high school should read this, because yeah, that's probably the target audience. Any boy who's graduated from high school. Yeah, that's probably what I would say. My score was 8 out of 10. Now, I was talking about it like I scored it like a 6 or something, right? But I actually give it an 8 out of 10. I think this is a fair score. My Animalist score is an 8.82. People love this manga. I think there's a little bit of glaze in it. Like I think like people's opinions of it is a little bit higher than reality. I think 8 is fair though. I think people saying this is the best manga ever is definitely a reach. Unless you've not read that much manga, then it might be for you. But honestly, 8 is fair. I think 8 should be the average score. I don't think you can sit in the category with 9, but Yeah, I think it was great all around. It just wasn't to that level where I could give it to absolutely everyone, which is what differentiates people in the 9 out of 10 versus the 10 out of 10. So, yeah, I think it was good. Definitely check it out if it sounded interesting. So now we're going to talk about your biggest problems at this point, right? I just gave you 3 lessons, 3 manga, right? But these are still some of your biggest problems. You want to meet people who are just like you, / make friends. You want to read more manga. You want to draw more manga. You want to write more manga stories. You want to join manga contests. You want to find manga references. If you want to find more people who can see your work. If you want to buy or sell manga, win free manga, find helpful manga resources. If you're just bored and you want something to do, if you want to join a community, if you want to make new friends, if you want to hang out with people, if you want to start a manga project, if you want to join a manga project, if you are looking for an artist to pair with, if you are looking for a writer to pair with, if you want to grow your social media following, if you want to have your manga reviewed by people who know manga, kind of like me, right? If you want to work on manga for a living, if any of the ones I just said are any problem that you are dealing with, you can solve it simply by going to the mangadiet.com, okay? There are more problems that you can solve by going to the mangadiet.com, but these are some of the biggest ones, right? If any of these resonate with you, right, you can look at it, pause it right now, and check it out yourself, the list, right? Go to the mangadiet.com and join our community. Every single one of these issues gets solved immediately by joining the community. We have so many resources available for you, yes, you watching the video, to solve these problems, okay? This is what it looks like on the inside, right? So I showed this at the beginning, but just again, I'm going to show you again. The pair page. Let's say you want to, for example, I want to start a manga project. Like, let's say you want to make a manga with somebody else. You go on here, you make a post saying, I'm thinking about making a manga. Does anyone want to draw? Okay, does anyone want to draw my story? Blah, blah. You can then have someone just click an easy button, send friend request. And then they'll send a request to you, and you guys can just talk to each other. You guys can figure it out, do whatever, right? Simple. Finding people. Easy. That's just one of the problems that are on this list, okay? Oh my gosh. I want to draw more manga, or I'm bored and I want something to do. On the battle page, we make the challenges for you. We already made so many challenges. I've tested them myself, right? I helped make the challenges, right? So I know these are challenges so easy to do, but also fun, that if you join and do them, not just by yourself, right? Because this is me, right? You can do it with somebody else. You will achieve your goal of drawing more manga, for example, reading more manga, writing more manga. What was the other one I was talking about? If you're bored, right? There's just so much stuff to do. If you like manga, go to the mangadiet.com right now and join our community. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to check out some of our other videos, right? If you like to read manga, you can check out this video, the easiest ways to read manga. It has manga reading resources in it. If you want more manga recommendations from me, right? You can watch this video, how to use manga to discover your career path, because it has like 30 plus manga recommendations in it. I'm not gonna lie, it's crazy. Check it out. And if you want to know how to make manga, check out our course. It's free. I said very free. That's crazy, but it's free. So you might as well check it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video or in the Manga Diet community. See ya.